everyone. We are live just to make sure that we're honking our way here. Okay, well, hi everybody to another edition of Tuning In, Tuning In with Tony. I got that on the brain lately, to the South edition of Phoenix. And we meet every week, and it's all about network marketing at its best, where we do it online. And I believe next week we're going to be meeting in person at the River Lounge. We're having some fun there. So we're going to do that. But gives you people an idea. If you have a business of any kind, try not to look at the amount of people that are always there. I used to be in a group that had over 77 members, and I rarely got any kind of referral because it's just so much, so vast. And then I was in groups that had like 12, and I was constantly getting referrals. So the numbers don't really say much, but what it does is that it makes it very small and intimate to a point where now I could focus on this one person. And I do know somebody that might use your service, or you need something that you have or can do. And that's what this is all about. As new services that we have start to evolve, when Sam starts to get into cleaning cars, on not only fixing them, we can see, oh, there's someone else that could probably use it because our neighbor's car needs a cleaning, sort of thing. And so this is the idea, is to find out who we know as business people that could use other people's service. It's not just what we could do. They want to tap into all of the hundreds of clients that we know. And that's what it's about. So even though there might be 6 or 7 or 10 people in a meeting, that connects to over 10,000 people when you really get down to it, okay? So just to give you an idea of how we're doing, as far as the Phoenix landscape is concerned, this is our hub, pbex.ca, pbex.ca, or phoenixbusinessexchange.com. And this is what it's all about here. It gives all of our members a chance to have a voice. This week's voice as a member of the week is Dwight Thompson. He's our caterer for the Bell's Corners group that Bernie heads up. Incredible man, incredible family. They are so generous with their stuff, and they make amazing foods. Mostly vegan, Caribbean flavored kind of thing. And there's a little video to give you an idea of what Dwight is all about. Okay, we are now offering 5 different ways in which you can connect to Phoenix in some way. Our Monday, Wednesday, Thursday group. Now we will be having a Thursday afternoon meeting because we've pretty much sewn up the 8 o'clock in the morning tie up for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We also have an after hours group, which is once a month. So that way it's not that commitment oriented. So it's once a month in the evening at 7 o'clock. That one's coming up on August the 5th. And that's more of a mastermind group. So if you have goals and so on that you want to do on that, we have members in there that's been in business for many years, and they're still heading up those goals, and that's kind of a reminder each time and each month that we meet of how things are going, and it's great. This way it keeps everybody accountable, and it's something that is a good reminder. But the Thursday group is a new one. It's called Midday. Middle of the day, 1 o'clock, we're going to have it in the afternoon. We are toying with the idea of bringing it in, and that one might be like an actual in-person one down the road, but we're going to see how that evolves. One thing I love about Phoenix and the way it goes is that we're very nimble. We could change on a dime when we see something just makes sense, right? As more people say, I'd love to meet in person. Well, guess what? Within a very short time, that's what we're doing. Because this Phoenix organization is all about businesses and what works for business, not what is convenient. It's whatever works the best that will bring you more leads, that will bring you more connections, is where we like to be. And that's really what it comes down to. Few announcements. Of course, Bernie has his East Trade Winds Global Networking every Tuesdays, 8 o'clock. Highly recommend that one. Anybody that is even listening on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube, just to take that one a check, because Bernie gets people from all over the world, Ireland, Australia, South America, all over the States and Canada. So he's done an incredible job on that. and highly recommend that. Him and Wayne Pratt, they head that up really nicely. I have a tuning and a meditation class every Friday at 1:30. This Friday, we're going to be talking about keeping your energy up and how we can really do that by not having other people pull it down. So there's many different energetic ways we can do that. I have a sound bathing coming up on the end of this month, which is basically at 7 o'clock in the evening. So it's after work, and it's a nice little time slot there. We already have close to 42 people signed up for that. Most of it is online, and so you're welcome to come into that. If you're looking at playing golf at Charity, there's a link for going to the Canadian golf course that we have coming up. Bernie, do you have anything you want to add to this while we're on the subject of golf?
Yeah, there's two pieces to this. If you take us up to the top of the screen that you're working on there, Tony, and you notice, folks, you see the word events, and then you scroll down, golf sponsorships. So if you want to partake in that, there's some opportunities that are available. So we have an agreement with Playing It Forward for Wishes and the Canada Food Cupboard. All 100% of donations made through that or sponsorship go straight to them. You get a sign at the golf course, and there's there are different levels of sponsorship. And so some of them get you some free pass in to play golf, and just scroll down, and then that's it. It gets processed from there. Otherwise, just sign in to the Canadian and sign up for people to golf yourself, a partner. If you do a foursome, then there's a slight price point break that comes involved. So 9 holes, best ball, cart, all 88 ahead. So yeah, you have a good game, and have some fun.
Thank you, Bernie. Awesome. And it's really what it's all about. It's all about not only do we network among ourselves, we like to give back to the community in some way. Mike Volotsky, he's been great to be able to make that into a reality with his Playing Forward for Wishes and stuff, so it's great. As far as numbers go, we're at 130,000, which is great. 197 referrals so far this year. And that adds to the 4.9 million that we've accumulated over the last 9 years. We're celebrating our 9th year. 9 is actually a very powerful number in my world. It's it means completion. It means things are being done. Over 7,700 referrals we've had since the beginning, and we've incorporated what we call electronic business cards to everyone, and we're hovering at 2,800. This is an estimation. There's been a new program launched with the people that we have the e-cards with, so that's more of an estimation. And I know it's higher than that because in previous years we've had it at around 9,000 by the end of the year, so we're over halfway. So it's probably a tiny bit over that. And what this is basically, it's all the time people click our e-cards. Between Bernie, myself, Eric, like all these people, they're very high users. They like to use these electronic cards for social media. If you have to give your information instead of only being given your phone number and your website and so on, it has 50 other things that we can add to that. It's like a mini website for someone's phone. All right. So there's all the things that we're doing with the Canada Food Cupboard and other different charities that we've sponsored over the years. So we're really proud of all of that. Okay, so that's what it's all about here. All right, so this is how we roll, right? So we're going to get a little education from our friend Norm Boyer. What do you think, Norm?
What I've been noticing lately is a lot of people don't use their phones to the degree that they should. You know, it's like having a Ferrari and can't take it out of first gear. So one of the big things is the note taking, that your phone will verbally take a note. With my phone, I can just go, and I can be in the car, and there's a button on my steering wheel like I press, and I say, Siri, take a note. Eric's partner's name is, and I tell that to take a note. So the next time I see Eric, I don't call his partner Jane if it's Mary, right? So that's the biggest thing, is to learn to use the notes on your phone, because sometimes you need to make a note that you need to remember to do something. Right? So with the Google phones, there is that app available where you can take the notes, and then you can review your notes and decide. Where mine will say what it'll categorize by what day I took the note. So that's the biggest thing is learn to use the notes on your phone as a reminder. So of stuff that you need to remember. Because there's so much stuff coming at you in a day that, oh, I got to remember to call Tony on Tuesday. Well, Tuesday comes and I forget, right? So also your calendar with the Apple applications, your calendar, you don't have to open the calendar, type in that you have a meeting on such and such a date with so-and-so. You can just tell Siri, make an appointment on this day, this time to do this, and Siri will book an appointment in your calendar. So that's the tip. Learn to use your phone a little bit more effective and your electronics. So if somebody wants to get together and do lunch or something and talk about how to use your iPhone, that I can do. I don't know the Google stuff and the Android stuff. So that's the tip of the day. Learn to use your phone more effectively.
Yeah, thank you very much, Norm. And with our day of using our phones, we use our phones all the time for calendars and everything. So yeah, this is a good note to be able to keep doing that because chances are, if you want to get organized, you'll more than likely have your phone with you. Good stuff. Okay, let's get right into our introductions and let people know not only what you do and what kind of things that you provide to save other people's problems. I think that's really essence why people choose you. They don't choose you because they want to do business with you. They choose us because they have a problem. So it's all self. It's all about self. What's going on in my life that you can solve? So let's turn it around that way. And so how are we problem solvers and stress relievers and headache go-doers? Okay. So let's start with Eric. Eric, what do you think, bud?
Alrighty, so good morning, everybody. I'm your real estate advisor with England Volkers Ottawa. So my problem solving is really super simple. I've got people that are looking to sell a home. They don't know exactly how they're supposed to price it. They don't know how they're supposed to stage it. They don't know what they're supposed to do with the outside. They have, for example, parents, unfortunately, who have passed on and they now have to sell the family home. So what I do is I go in, I do a walk around with them, and then we discuss what the family will be taking in terms of furniture, what they will be giving away, what they want to keep, what they don't want to keep. From there, I'll suggest as an example to do a home inspection on the selling side of things. It's not just the buyer that needs to do those. What we'll do is I'll have my list of home inspectors go in and let the family know exactly what it is that they are selling. Are they selling a home that has really horrible electrical systems that need to be upgraded? Are they selling a home that might have asbestos? Are they selling a home where there's a roof leak? All of these things can create a lot of stress in the sales process because then when that comes up, they've got to negotiate that with the buyer. So the more we know up front, the more we know what we're actually selling. Also, it allows the family to make repairs and see what we can do beforehand before we even go. As an example, I'm going to be selling a house that has some aluminum wiring. Well, it was pigtailed, so that's something that now we know it's been done, and now we know exactly what we're selling. So what I do is I bring solutions, I bring trades, I bring services, just like the people in this group, so that when it comes time for somebody to sell their home, they know exactly what they're selling, they reduce the stress, they know all the information already before the buyer brings it up, and then we have a really good transaction where we can sell. So if you're looking for a one-stop solution to provide you with a lot of problem solving, I'm Eric Perron, your real estate advisor with Engel and Volkers Ottawa, also fully bilingual. I have quite a few Francophone French clients right now. All the best.
Okay, Eric. And are you able to go into Quebec if there are any properties in
I
Quebec?
will not go into Quebec. I can meet people in Quebec as long as they're going to be transacting in Ontario, but I do not have the dual province. I can't do any buying or selling in the province of Quebec.
So, just for clarity, so if somebody has a property in Quebec moving to Ontario, can you do
I can
that?
help them with the Ontario side.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha.
Right? So if
Gotcha.
I'm buying or selling in Ontario itself, I use the Ontario
Perspective. Okay.
contracts, no problem at all. I can meet them in Quebec at a coffee shop or whatever and discuss business, but I can't actually do any
Got it.
transactions
Okay. Okay.
on that
Perspective.
side. For Quebec, just so you know, we have a big network. And so we have an England Volkers office that's in Chelsea. So we have advisors there that can help, and they'll help on
Okay.
the whole up and down on the river.
Cool, cool, cool. Thank you, sir. Okay. And any BAMs? Anybody? Did you meet anybody?
No BAMs this week.
Okay. For those that are watching, BAM is a business activity meeting. It's when two members of ours get together and discuss business, talk about family, talk about the dog. It's all about getting to know each other to the point where we're friends. As soon as you become that you're a friend, it's easier to relate and to be able to give referrals. That's what I've found. It's just that people will always refer a friend easier than someone that they just know, but they don't know what their quality is. And that's part of why we meet is just to find out a little bit more. I want to know what the work ethic is for a person, not that who's the cheapest. I had that just yesterday, whoever was the cheapest, and I always chose a little more expensive person, but I know the way they work. It's high quality, and it's just less headache for me. So that's the way I go. It was only because of experience. I've gone cheap, and it ended up being more expensive. All right. Q, you're up next.
Thank you, Tony. Hello, everyone. My name is Q, and I'm your go-to insurance lady of the group. And I help people protect themselves and their loved one financially when they need it most through the use of life, critical illness, and disability insurance. Now, many people think that it's not necessary to get life or critical illness insurance when they are young and healthy. But the truth is, it's best to get insurance when you're young and healthy because your premium will never be as low as it is now. You're not risky, and you will go through life worthy if unexpected things happen. Q from World Financial Group, providing you with financial peace of mind when you need it most. Thank you.
Thank you, Q. Any BAMs this week?
No plan this week.
Okay. And that is so true. You always get it, try and ask for things that you don't need right now. Like you always try and ask for money when you don't need it. That's when you'll get it. When you need it, they don't give it to you. Okay, over to Norm. Norm, how's it going there in Stevenage Drive? Or Roger Stevens?
I thought I was going to present. Am I going to present now?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. That's a good one. And over to Sam.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. There's my contact information in the chat. Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca, reporting from our cottage in Fort Stanley, Ontario. I'm going to be leaving here on Saturday to attend our son's wedding in Cambridge, Ontario. So I've got a busy weekend coming up, and it's going to be quite enjoyable. I have my speech actually all prepared. Getting back to business-wise, well, what makes me different is because when somebody comes to me with their car, I treat them, and this is not a cliche, like it's my car. I do not tell people, and I do not recommend things that I won't do to my own car, and I will tell people things that I would do to my own car. I'll give you an example. About a week ago, a young lady came to me, and she said she needed brakes. And she said she only needed back brakes. Well, I had the brakes on hand, but lo and behold, she needed front brakes as well. And I told her so. So I got the brake work done. And then she said something about having an oil leak. And I went underneath the car, and sure enough, she had a leak from the valve cover gasket, which is not a huge deal, but it's it's an issue. And she had a muffler leak. And while I was walking around the car, I noticed a bulge in the tire, or one tire. It looked like she might have hit a curb or something like that. And I told her, the valve cover gasket is not critical. The muffler needs to be done, or the exhaust, I should say, but not critical. But that tire, that one tire, that could cause an accident. And that accident could cost her life, her children's life, someone else's life. That I told her needs to be done right away. I don't sell tires, but I told her and I gave a recommendation of place to go. That's the kind of service I provide to my customers, what they really need when it comes to safety of their vehicle, and nothing more than that. I will advise, but I will not sell them something that I wouldn't do in my own vehicle. Let's see here, BAMS wise. Let's see, I'm working with Rael. I should say I've passed Rael off to our son who's getting married, but he's so far hasn't helped him yet. I'm going to get on that once the marriage is over there, Rael, and get that bot, the chat bot on my website. And I'm working with Redmond to do some work when I get back to town. He's got an issue with a noise when he turns steering wheel in his car. That's it for me, Sam Sturris, ConnectedCars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of the vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
Thanks a lot, Sam. Awesome. And over to Bernie. What's shaking, Bernie?
Good morning, folks. All kinds of things. East Trade Winds is booting along rather well. And yeah, if you want to do a meeting or do a BAM with me, we can always do it at the Hive location. It's got some activity on the go there. And I just realized I've been sharing Rahel's podcast link, but it just released today. So if you were hunting for that, it's now in the wild. Sorry about that, Rahel. I'm going, all of a sudden I see a pop-up. I'm going, hang on, I know that guy. What's going on here? I'm doing literally a factory of these things going up because there's a whole bunch of information coming out. Listen to the podcast, understand more about what Rael is doing. That's what I do. I talk to people, I share that information. I try to find interesting people, and I do find interesting people, and they have, in the right circumstances, they have something of value for everybody, depending on what they do and what you need. I'm going to stop there because, podcast will say it all. And Tony, BAM wise, let's see, you and I had a chat about setting something up for the Thursday chapter. We're working on that and some dynamics to help gain some more leverage for in-person locations at that. And I'm going to stop. Otherwise, everybody goes to sleep, and the eyes and the heads will drift. No, we don't
go to sleep. No, when you talk, you go to sleep. There's so much.
A little bit of coffee.
Yeah, and it's so true. Yeah, with the new chapter that's coming up, I mean, it'll be great to have some other members also sort of join in. But we're looking for some new blood, new people that can, and we're getting a lot of asking for trades, anything from drywall to painters to movers, roofers, landscapers. These are all people that we are constantly getting asked if we have. So hairstylist had one. It was a number of about a month ago. But just any business says that wants to meet in the afternoon if they can't do the mornings because of kids and so on. So that's it. It's going to be a good time slot for many businesses that have kids. All right, doing all that. And over to the legendary Reality. We've already said his name like 14 times. So he's got a legend of his own. So Real, go ahead, my friend.
I don't know if I can live up to that. But thank you. Bernie's podcast is really great. Would recommend checking it out. It's super relaxing. So I'm Rahel. I am making a chatbot called Web Indexer, which is essentially a chatbot that you can put on any website that does lead collection, customer support queries. So we're working with a few different clients. One example being Felina's, a local Mexican restaurant, and they get all sorts of questions from accessibility to food options to are dogs allowed on the patio? And so these are phone calls that would normally come in and distract the servers, but now it's answered by the chatbot. And I'm also working with a few other people, such as Tony. We just put in a Shopify integration for his products directly in the chatbot. So it can recommend things as well as guide them to the shop page. And I'm also working with web developers because Web Indexer is also able to be white labeled. So if you know of any businesses or if you're a web developer who knows of any businesses that could use a chatbot service, you can set it up in less than 5 minutes and it costs $20 a month. And so, yeah, Webindexer can be white labeled. As for BAMs, yeah, mentioned Bernie, mentioned Tony, as well as Sam. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until your son gets married. He should prioritize the chatbot. I don't know why he's prioritizing his own wedding over the chatbot. It's clearly more important. But yeah, yeah, thank you.
Okay, awesome.
Well, don't forget you did one with me.
I did, yes, Norm. I'm
Yes.
so sorry about that. Yes, yeah. So Norm has a product that he's looking for his product to make a product page as well as potentially to do some digital marketing. So we're chatting about that as well.
Norm, you finally did it. Way to go, bud. That
What?
L bracket for the door? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, it was the thing to hold the cell phone.
Oh, okay.
Cell
Right on.
phone
Oh, you got all
amplifier.
kinds of great ideas. Yeah. All right, excellent, and it's a great way to be able to market. So yeah, Riel and I had a chat there, and yeah, I think I'm going to adopt you as my new brother. That's how it's going to go. It's just that he was able to fix something right in front of me. I had a number of issues with things, and he fixed it. Also put in an order that he also does apps. So he's going to be creating an app for Hire Self. So I am just over the moon with that. And I've been getting already downloads of all the stuff that I can put on this thing. So thank you for that. That's great. I love when I get working on ideas that are a month and 2 months, 6 months into the future, because it just keeps that present prosperity going. And that's what it's all about. Tony Jennis from Hire Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I meet with clients that are just want to find who they are, basically, to find out what their energy, find out why they are feeling so exhausted at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, finding out why that massage therapists they can only do 2, maybe 3 clients, and they just can't go anymore. After they meet with me, they can do up to 5 and 6 every day and not even feel it. Because there's an energetic draw to everything that we put our hands to. People are like that. As soon as like a massage therapist, for instance, I've got a lot of experience in that regarding energy. Because when you massage somebody, there's the reason they're feeling much better is because you're actually pressuring the energy out of them. And where does it go? It goes right into your hands and right on your chest and so on. You can do that maybe 2 or 3 times, and then you feel exhausted because it's hanging on you. But there are ways to clear it. And once we show them, certain kind of tricks and tips about that, they can do a lot more. They're more productive. They can make a little bit more money, and they can serve their clients in a better way. So it's great. It's great that way. And I have a sound bath coming up on July the 30th. It's basically an environment where you're on your own. It's a 2-hour, basically meditation, and we guide you through the first half hour on the different types of breathing techniques that you can do while you're waiting for things. And the frequencies and the sounds that you hear are all towards getting the answer that's within you. We all have the answer inside of us. And it doesn't seem like we do, because sometimes we don't know what to do, because we're looking at the logistics. We're looking at, we comparing 2 things, and they both look the same. Do I want to go to this university or that one? And they just so the same, and I'm not sure which one is better. Should I marry this person or that person? They look so similar, By the way, if that is the case, you don't choose either one of them. It's a trick question, because the one that you choose will be unmistakable. All right. So it's stuff like that. I had a lady that yesterday that is a very low energy. She's been whole family has basically shunned her for various reasons, and within an hour and a half, she basically floated out the door, and she had a sort of a skip in her step. And to do that in just an hour and a half, I think it's marvelous. I love what I do. And because you love whatever you do, you'll end up doing it better than just putting in time. Tony Jennis from Hire Self. We are here to raise your spirits. All right. So every month, or every meeting, actually, we go through a time where we give more of an opportunity to talk about one of our members' industry and their business than more in a minute or so. And this week, Norm has stepped up and going to talk about various things about his industry, doors and windows, and his amazing feats of handyman-age, if that's even a word. So over to you, Norm.
Thank you, Tony. So, Tony, I'm going to get you to find that video about the heat.
I got it. I got it. I'm
Okay.
ready when you are, sir.
Okay, let's do that, and I'll play from there.
Okay. I always like seeing this particular video, so it's a good one. Here, let's make it so there's no distortion.
Demonstrate how much heat goes through
Hope
your
you can hear
glass.
this.
We have a heat lamp here producing heat. We have a meter which is measures BTUs. So we set to 500 BTUs. If your house is built before 1990, you're going to get 2 layers of glass, no coatings on it. So that means 330 BTUs are still escaping through that glass. If you have glass recommended by the government in the building code, we put this in, and it's a low E, still 311 BTUs passing through that glass, so still heat coming through. If you have a room that's too hot, too cold, then we'll put this layer, 3 layers of silver in here, transparent, and it brings our reading down to 6. So now your room is not going to be too hot, too cold. And we don't have to replace your windows, we can just replace your glass. So when I first started to sell this glass, when it started to come out, it was mostly to keep your house warmer in the wintertime, to stop the condensation on your window, all the moisture accumulating and running down. Because what would happen, it's a heat mirror, it reflects back heat. So in the wintertime, the inner surface of the glass was warmer. So because it was warmer, it was more comfortable to be near it. You had less downdrafting, you had less condensation on it. But now we have, based in the last couple of weeks, now I promote it more for the comfort it can give you in the summertime, to cut out that solar gain, which is overpowering your air conditioner, making your air conditioner run 24/7, but still not cooling down your house enough. So I'm promoting that more and more, because it's cutting out the solar gain versus leaving the heat leaving the house in the wintertime, stopping the heat from coming in the summertime. So if anybody wants, and now I have a thing on my website where people can go on my website, send me information, and I can send them a quote without having to go to the house. So they can say, oh yeah, well, I'll save up for that, right? So it saves me from having to go to the house, and when they say, oh, I thought I could do it for $1,000. No, it's going to cost $3 or whatever. So it stops me from going to tire kickers or people who are not ready to buy. They want to buy, but they're not ready. So that's the thing about you. Most of you have seen that presentation. Now, Tony mentioned the L strike. I don't know if yes, that's the L strike. This is to secure doors. This is an insurance policy. This is to stop people from kicking in your door. You know, if you watch those TV shows and the policeman kick in the door, he's going to have a hard time to do it with this particular thing. So when I secure the doors, not only do I secure where the deadbolt is, I secure the hinges. I put different screws in the hinges because they only have 3/4 inch screws in the hinges. And the break-in artists know now not just to kick in the side where the deadbolt is, but to kick in the side where the hinges are and open the door that way. So that's another thing that I do, is that secure the security. I used to lecture to the Ottawa Police on how to secure your house from break-ins. And then Ottawa University had an issue with some of the residents where people were breaking in the windows and getting in. So I designed 3 types of security bars for them, and then brought them the 3 security systems. They tested them out, and they said, we like that system, so we'll take 50 of those. So then I made 50 of those systems to secure their residences for the university. And these security bars, you couldn't break in from the outside, but inside you were able to remove a couple of pins and remove the security bars if you needed to get out the window. So it didn't lock people into their house, but lock people out of the house. So that's another thing that I do. That introduces me to if I secure the front and back doors. Unfortunately, most of the time that I do this is because the door's already been kicked in. Right, so the door's been kicked in. Now they need to buy a new door, and it's 6 to 8 weeks to get a door. And the door's been kicked in. So what I do is I put the frame back together, and then I put the security strike in, and it's actually now more secure than the original door. Looks terrible, but they've got a chance to get a door from a door supplier. All right, so what's been happening, some companies sell a customer door and then they send me in to repair the existing door until the new door comes in. So I should have done this on the educational thing, but people have motto in their lives. Start when you're 8 years old. If you're a cub, the motto is do your best, right? And if you move into scouts, right, then the motto is be prepared. So it applies to all your life, right? And then when you go into rovers, which is the oldest scouts, then the motto was service. And when I was in the military as an engineer, our motto was the difficult we do right away, the impossible takes us 2 days. So having a motto is a good thing to do in your life, and you don't realize sometimes what the simple thing like be prepared means, right? Whether now Eric, it really is prepared when he goes out to a customer to try and do a listing. He has all this information pre-done so that he's prepared to the thing. So everybody that has something to do with the customer, that motto be prepared is important. So what I'm going to do is talk about that glass, that special glass, right? So
Actually, Norm, I have a quick question for you. Just going back to your hinges,
yeah,
like the door hinge,
uh-huh.
because this happened that I was witnessed where a store had this wooden door with the glass, but they kicked in the hinges. All right, but when you do that, do you not destroy the holes where the old screws used to be in? In other
Well,
words, if
yeah,
you want to put in the same hole, like it's already damaged, how do you get around that?
a 3-inch screw,
A what?
a 3-inch screw instead of 3/4
Oh,
inch.
yeah, a longer screw. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
where the screw instead of just going into the frame of the door, it goes into the frame of the house. It goes into the 2x4s or the 2x6s, right? So the problem is that, and I can patch them until sometimes if it's too bad, then you have to replace the frame, but I can do a temporary job until a permanent job can be done.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
All right. Yeah. Just
And when I talk about the high performance glass and people say, oh, that'd be so expensive, so expensive. And then failed thermal panes is when when your windows has two glass sealed together and there's a chemical in there that keeps the air in there dry, right? It's silica gel, it's a desiccant. When outside air comes in because the seal has broken, there's a crack in the glass, then you have condensation between the two glass, and that means your sealed unit has failed and you have to replace it. So I quoted a customer to do the whole house, replace their glass because the seals have failed. It was $5,000 to boot construction grade, that one that lets 311 BTUs through. $5,000 for the whole house. To move it up to that glass that's 6 or 7 BTUs going through, it was $350 on the $5,000 job. So it's not expensive, but the government is always looking to solve a problem with the most expensive way to do it. And they're giving grants on windows now and they're promoting triple glaze. In my 366 glass, will do a better job than triple glaze at less price. Triple glaze was deemed obsolete 40 years ago, but now all the old guys like me are either dead or retired. All the people knew the problem with triple glaze. So the new engineers go, oh, double glaze is good, let's go triple glaze. So physics has not changed in 40 years. So the problems that we had 40 years ago, the government is promoting that. It's promoting them to go to triple glaze. And there's a lot of problems with triple glaze, because it's heavier. You can't have as big a window. It affects the windows sagging and binding and not closing right. So whenever I'm talking about windows, I have to de-educate people from what the government has told them they should do. So my customers are fortunate that I don't sell windows. I sell a solution to the problem. If a customer wanted me to do something, right, and I felt it's not right, what I would do is say, okay, I'm going to do it that way, but I'm just going to put a "I told you" clause, right? So I would say, if I can put this clause that I recommended the solution, customer decided not with that solution, but go with this solution. I say, sign that, I'll do it the way you want me to do it. And then most of the time they'll say, oh, okay, no, I'm not going to sign that. So they'll either say, yeah, we'll do it your way, or say, no, somebody else will do it. And without putting that clause in. I said, I have the Kenny Rogers solution. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. If somebody wants me to do something wrong, he's going to forget that he wanted me to do it wrong. So I'll walk away from that job if I can't convince him that it's my way is the solution. So it's an interesting industry because there's so much conflicting information in the industry. So I'm going to leave it open to questions. Somebody's got questions on the security or yes, Eric?
I beat you, Sam. Sam's always the first. So my question to you is, when you are securing a door, there are a lot of times the hard door, sometimes they have glass in it, and then there's a whole panel of glass basically from the floor to the top of the door beside it. So there's kind of like a small frame between that main door and that glass panel. And basically that's usually where the handle would be. How do you secure that? Does it need to be secured? Because I always think in my mind, if somebody's kicking in where the door handle is and there's a whole glass panel versus a wall, you can't put like 2.5 or 3 inch screws where that latch is into that glass. Is there any kind of thoughts or solutions there?
Well, my L-Strike has 4 screws in it. So I still screw 3-inch screws into the frame and 1.5 or 2-inch screws depending on the side light, right? So if the hinge side, if the strike size is on the glass side, that's what I do. And
Like
most
an inch and a half, you're saying?
hey,
You're saying then you do the inch and a half screw?
well, I do an 1.5 inch screw in the part where the glass is.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm
then
asking.
the other
Yeah.
part, I still put 3-inch screws.
Yeah. No, I
Right.
understand that part. It's more just where the glass is.
Yeah. And then generally they do not break glass. I've seen very few break-ins where they break glass. When they kick in the door, they make the sound once. Bam! And the neighbor says, "Do you hear that?" What? I don't hear anything. But with glass, you have to repeat the sound. You don't break it first strike. Right? I remember trying to break glass because it was a storm window, a wooden storm window, and it was cocked into place and there was hooks in it and I couldn't get it from inside. I had to break the glass. And I hit it with the axe. I had a small axe and I was hitting that glass. The glass about this big by this big. I was hitting it with the axe and I wasn't breaking it. Finally, my son said, "Give me that axe." And he hit it with the sharp point and he had to hit it twice before it broke. So, and then glass indoors, I use tempered glass. That's 5 times stronger than ordinary glass, right? So they generally do not break glass. They want to break in quickly and quietly. So the kicking in the door, they make the sound once and they don't repeat it. Right? So that's why they mostly break in by kicking the door, right? Or you guys weigh 250 pounds, put a shoulder to it. Sam?
Thanks, Norm. Actually, I have a door question as well. My parents' door in their house front door was made of wood. Probably yours was too. But now homes are generally, and at least ours is, it's a steel door with, I think, foam or something in between. Is that a better door, or is it just a cheaper door?
Well, the wooden doors, like steel doors only came in about 30, 35 years ago, right? The steel doors where they would put them in new houses. Before that, you had a wooden door, and then you had a storm door. You had a secondary door. The wooden door has an R value of about 2. And then when you put a storm door, it brought another R for the door and then the R for the airspace, so it give you an L value of 4. Where the steel door has an R value of 10 to 15, depending on the manufacturer. Whether in between the two sheets of steel they put styrofoam or whether they put polyurethane, right? So the steel door doesn't need a storm door, but it often needs that door as a screen door, or if you have a door at a deck at the back, the bottom of the door is pretty close to the deck, and snow would drift against the door. You open the door and the snow's there, so they would put a storm door, so when there's a lot of snow outside, you open your main door and the snow doesn't fall in, you just push it away, but with the storm door. So that's the reason you need the secondary door for a storm door, but you don't need it to keep hot and cold out. It's done for other reasons, either for venting or to push that snow away. So
Okay.
that's why we do those now. There's not many storm door
I find it
manufacturers
interesting that
anymore.
the steel doors, as you say, are more insulated, and I probably agree there 100%. But then we have like our front door, it has a big pane of glass that, takes up the vast majority of the door. So you lose all that R value in putting the glass in, don't you?
Well, yes, I mean, if you have a full-length glass, it's, well, let me tell you about one customer that had a full-length glass in his door. And it was in his bathroom, an outside door in his bathroom. You sit on the toilet and you could touch the handle of the door. Well, that room was cold because it was a 20 by 65-inch piece of glass. So what I did is I took that door with the glass out and put a door with no glass. So that then you have an R value of 15 through the whole door versus an R value of 15 all the way around, and then an R value of 3 where all the glass is. Right? So most fancy glasses are triple glazed, simply because when you do the caming, we put the brass fittings all together or the lead fittings, you can't get a seal on the glass. So that's why you have the fancy glass, tempered glass, and tempered glass. So the fancy glass is in the middle. I say it's just, and I saw one attempted break-in with a back door that had that fancy glass. They broke through the first layer, couldn't get through the glass, the fancy glass, and they didn't go any further, right? Simply because you have to repeat the noise, right? Unless you're trying to break into a cottage, and then they don't care how much noise they make when they're breaking glass, right? So, the thing is to secure it before it happens. I would go used to back when it was really important about security on doors and securing houses was I would do the doors, I would do removable bars in the basement, right? So that they couldn't. So the two most broken in places were the doors and the basement windows, especially if the basement window was in the back and was shielded with some bushes or something, right? They would break in through the basement window and go in. And then people were putting in double cylinder locks. That means you need a key to open it inside and you need a key to open it outside. So and the police like that because people were breaking through the basement window, but they couldn't go out your door because they didn't have the key to open the deadbolt inside. But the firemen hated them, right? Because they said there was nothing of enough value in your house to lock yourself in. So but then it's now against code to have a double cylinder lock because the fireman had a weapon that the police didn't have, and that was fire code. And years ago, 7 people in Ontario died in fires because they couldn't get out of their house. And they say, "Oh, hang the key up here," right? So they'd lock their door, put the key on a key holder, and the fireman said, "It's hard to remember where your key is when you have a lungful of smoke." So the fireman banned the double cylinder locks. So you no longer can have a double cylinder lock by code, right? You have to have a thumb turn. So that to get out of the house, you just turn this thing and you unlock yourself. So I've seen the industry change in a lot of different ways because of things that happen.
Yeah. Well, great, Norm. Thank you very much. This is great. We're just coming up to 9 o'clock right now, so this was great to finish everything right on time. And Bernie, could you put up a quote for us there, bud?
Absolutely. $5.99. No. Don't
Okay.
judge each day.
Sold.
Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Robert Louis Stevenson.
Yeah. And those that are watching on Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live and YouTube, thank you for staying with us and joining us. And we'll see you.